LCCatShop.com, the new official online team store of the Louisiana College Wildcats, has a new sale for the month of October. 15% off of select gifts and accessories now through Halloween. Check that and so much more out now at LCCatShop.com.
The following is a presentation of the Wildcat Sports Network.
Hello everyone and welcome to Getting to Know You, where we get to know the members of the LC Athletics Department. And today we are going to talk with the head volleyball coach of your Lady Wildcats, Brittany Salloum. Brittany, hi, how are you?
Good,
Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, this is the 4th season of LC Volleyball, and you've been here for all 4 of those years. So let's talk about the development of the team from season 1 to now, the season we're going into here in 2020.
Yeah. So season 1, we still had girls on the team who had never played a sport before, let alone volleyball. So it was a growing year and an interesting year and exciting for those girls who hadn't played before when something good happened. Much more turnover than I would have liked to have seen in between years. And we're now to a place where, like I brought back 12 people. So, and that's the majority of my roster. So not as much turnover as we were experiencing at the beginning. Much more skill, much higher level of skill, people who have played volleyball and know what they're doing. The wins haven't come exactly the way I would have liked to have seen them yet, but I think we're in the hard part right now, which is establishing the culture part. And once that's done, I think that's when the wins will really start to come. So.
And now you come into this. We're going to get into the craziness of this particular season with all the pandemic issues going on. But you've seen the growth of the team, and just talk about how that skill level is manufacturing itself as we're getting into year 4.
Well, I think the longer your program exists, the more well-known it is, the more successful you are. The more there are people who want to be involved and want to be a part of it. And so it's been, hopefully at the college level, you're not doing a lot of skill development. Hopefully that happened in high school and you're doing more refining skill and getting them to play your systems and the way that you, put them together to be cohesive as a team. So we are spending less and less time focusing on individual skill on the larger spectrum, on the bigger picture, and more time on, I guess I hate to use the word nitpicking, but my girls would probably call it nitpicking, really refining their skill. And that comes with being able to recruit a better player as our program grows and develops and flourishes. And
now you talk about the nitpicking. What kind of stuff would you do that your girls would consider a nitpick that you really kind of harp on?
Everything that I say. Probably like most games, volleyball is a game of communication. If you're not talking, you're not going to be successful. So they could always talk more and more productively. At first I was like, I don't care what you say. I don't care if you talk about the weather, just talk about something while you're playing. And now it's like, okay, say something productive about where the ball's going or how many hitters can attack and these kinds of things. Jumping up and not forward, finishing to target. There are probably 15, they will probably have a list that they come up with after they see this of all the things that they can think of me repeating over and over again, but yeah.
And now let's go into the current issues at play here this year, the craziness that has been 2020.
Yeah.
Obviously it's impacted your season. You probably should be a few weeks into your season at this point.
Yeah.
And while you're still sitting on the sideline waiting for the green light. You do have a schedule, so that's a step in the correct way.
For 2021.
Yes, a spring schedule has been released and is on the Louisiana College website. Check out the new lcwildcats.net, by the way. It just launched about a month or so ago, so it is revamped. Check it out. But just talk about the schedule, playing in the spring, not having the normal summertime to kind of get some refinement, and now coming into the fall and not having it practiced as we sit right here,
Yeah.
as we're taping this.
I think I've been a lot more relaxed than some people are about this, primarily because I can't do anything about it. The NCAA doesn't care if I'm mad or ticked off or, so, and largely my boss doesn't either, so it doesn't really do a lot of good for me to get flustered. It's very odd to not be playing volleyball right now. This is the first time since I started playing volleyball in 7th grade, that in the fall I have not been playing or coaching. So this is a very unusual time for sure. But I feel like, I keep saying this, my girls will probably be mad at me for this. It's not all that different because at Division III, we can't do anything with them over the summer, right? Like that's not a coaching window that we have. So largely, a lot of them do, some of them do, but a lot of them don't do a lot over the summer in terms of touching a ball or running or what I would like them to be doing. So now we're going to leave for Thanksgiving, and they're not going to come back until January when we start practice. And so it'll be the same thing. They'll go home for Thanksgiving to Christmas, and it'll be worse because they'll have had the holidays and had 2 very large meals and eaten very poorly, and it'll be cold for Louisiana, so they won't be outside doing things. So it's 6 in one, half in the other. I would like to play in the fall. I would like to have had a season, but it'll be no different come January. So.
Now, with your schedule out, what are you looking forward to in a spring season, and basically just an analysis of your schedule and your opponents? All ASC games,
Yeah.
all double headers.
Yeah.
So you're playing 2 straight matches back to back, trying to get
Yeah.
that match number up.
Yeah. It has pros and cons. So we're only playing East, the East Division. So there are teams we won't see, which in some cases is nice. But we do have, several teams on our half that we struggle against, or historically. Can you do something historically for 3 years that we've historically struggled against? I'm not super excited to play UT Dallas back to back, just in the name of honesty. But if we play Belhaven and it goes to 5 sets, and then we have to turn around and play Belhaven again, and God forbid it goes to 5 sets, it's a long day. But it's not any different than playing in a tournament. Friday, Saturday, 2 matches. So it will be different, but not unusual. So I think that it puts us in a good place to just play our half. I hope that the girls take advantage of this opportunity, since it will be possibly the last time they see these teams. So I hope that they, just go out swinging and just give it the best shot that they can for their last opportunity.
And just what excites you about this kind of odd setup that we're in this year? Is there anything that is it an excitement or just a challenge with the unique circumstance?
I think what's exciting for us is, as a fall sport, especially with freshmen coming in, like these kids are always on their phones, right? So there's some degree of them communicating with one another, but they don't really have the opportunity to get to know one another and spend time together and play together. Like, they're thrown in, it's game time right away. And so now as a spring sport, we've got 6 months to spend time together, and they've been playing, and just getting to know one another and build chemistry that not that we force in the beginning, but it has to develop much more quickly than it can now. So I think that's exciting. I've never been a spring sport.
And then the recruiting aspect of it, of trying to build a team for the future, it obviously throws things out of kilter. I don't know if that it opens up more of a chance to maybe see some high schools, some players you would maybe not get to see in person because they're playing while you're not, or
Well,
I don't know how that goes.
Generally speaking, it would, except that a lot of the high schools aren't allowing for fans, or they're allowing a limited number, or they're only live streaming. So it gives me more time to watch streamed things, but it doesn't, as much as I would like, open the door to go and actually see kids in person. In the spring it will, since we have, hopefully everything will be back to normal by then. And so club will be happening, and we have open weekends, and we really don't have, we play, I would say, an equal mix of midweek and weekend with the spring schedule. So that will allow me to recruit more in the spring. But for right now in the fall, I still just kind of trying to figure out, I don't want to wait until March to get commitments from kids, but it's also important to me that they come see the campus, and we normally do like a group visit type thing. So that's all still kind of on hold while we wait for what we're allowed to do.
Now, we're going to go on to actually get to know you. So let's just talk about, who is Brittany Salloum? And first off, before we even get to that, let me give you this opportunity to throw it out to some of your old friends who are no longer here, but I think you have some words to say that would make sense to, as you said earlier before we started taping, just 2 people on earth who would get this, but to those 2 people, this is for you.
This is for you. I'm going to try and remember what Sam said. Ever since Sam left, I'm as lonely as a pigeon, and not even a pulled pork sandwich would make it better. What was my other word? I feel like Garfield without his lasagna. That's the most bizarre thing that's ever come out of my face in 30 years. But that was for you, Sam and Brad.
And it makes sense to the people who it matters to. But I've asked this to the other coaches who have been on this series. What motivates Brittany Salloum, and not just through this, but not just through sport, but just throughout the daily life?
I wasn't prepared for this. I should have been, huh?
Not calling out anybody.
Yeah. I think for me, probably the thing that motivates me most is Jesus, and loving Jesus, and trying every day. I haven't always been saved, so some days it's hard for me to act right and do right. So I try very hard to just love people well and do what I know to be right, and make my list shorter of what I'll have to give account for when all is said and done. And I fancy myself an introvert, really. But I do love people. And so I love people. Yeah, that was good. I just don't always like people. Yeah, I said what I meant, and I meant what I said. So I'm like deeply motivated by relationships and like getting to know people well. I'm not someone who I don't just have like a million loose connections to people. Like if you're my friend, you're my person. So I love my girls a lot, and I try to express to them that if they ever needed me, that I would be there, and try to, when the opportunity presents itself, talk to them about things bigger than volleyball and even college and that kind of stuff. So I guess that's what motivates me.
And then just
coffee also, sorry.
Coffee's always
coffee
a good.
motivates me a lot. Starbucks, anyone.
So we'll make sure that those gift cards get rolling in. All those sponsorship dollars go right
Boosters, feel free to send those to our program. Just kidding.
in. And then family life. I give you a chance to introduce everyone to the family.
I don't have a family. No, I'm originally from up north. I'm a Yankee. I'm a transplant, so I live thousands of miles away from most of my family.
Well, hey, give them a shout out.
Yes, Mom, Denise. She's in the mitten. I have a brother, Joe. I have 2 sisters, and I guess I have a dog. Everyone knows about Mavie, though. If you watch The 2 Brits, Mavie's my homegirl.
Well, we'll have to reintroduce.
I should have brought her. Okay, continue.
I know the unfortunately the 2 Brits show may have seen its end because they're unfortunately no longer here.
Only one Brit, yeah.
Maybe if we can get a Chilean involved in that one.
Oh, I don't know what we'll call it. BC.
South America and UK. That might work.
It's BC, Brittany Carla, yeah. It's hard to say.
But we'll have to get the dog involved on the show, on these shows. And now, just to give a chance to shout out to anyone else you'd like to give.
Oh my gosh, I don't know who. I guess I could shout out people who won't watch this. Rachel Stuckey is my dearest friend. You should know that. That's an important thing. So hi to her. And my dear friend Cassandra Diamond, well, formerly Diamond Chance, Daniel Cook. That's it. Those are the people I want to say hi to. My grandma. Hi, Grandma. She's not going to watch this for sure. She doesn't have a cell phone or the internet, so.
But still.
Yeah.
We'll clip it and show it when
Yeah.
you run into them later.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you all for watching, getting to know you as we got to know Coach Brittany Salloum. Coach Salloum, thank you for joining us today. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we hope you like, comment, and subscribe to the Louisiana College Wildcats Athletics YouTube page. But for now, I'm Richard Tiberville Jr. Thank you for watching.